talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe right to the go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a Woozier. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing the same for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it off to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my favorite money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.
What do we say, dog?
That's right, y'all. They got to play us. What's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the back-to-back AFC North champions, Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,339 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification. Every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you got something you want to ask Skinny, like, is Joe Burrow's calf okay? Is his contract going to be signed soon? Are they ever going to bring the two angry guys back? Is Tony Pike ever going to come on my show? Anything like that, give me a super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. The Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And you know what? I wear it every day. Jackpot Joey. We hit the jackpot when we drafted Joe Burrow. If you guys want any of the gear, go to jackpotjoey9.com. Portion of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund of the Joe Burrow Foundation. The beer is at Brink's Brewery. I got to hook up Richard with some Jackpot Joey beer this year. I'm going to, so I get his official taste test on it. But if you want it, it's at Brink, it's at Kroger's and lots of other stores locally. What's up there, everybody in the chat? Strangers in there, Brad's in there, Houday, Jerome, Matt, Mike, Rossi, and Sammy. What is going on? Let's get to the man. And he just got off with Mo Egger. This is how popular he is. He goes from Mo Egger to Strawberry Ice. So I'm kind of curious, which is more popular, my show or Mo Egger? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's ask Skinny. What's going on, Skinny?
Hello, man.
What's going on, man? How you doing? Long time no see.
Yeah, exactly. I saw you 4 hours ago, 3 hours ago, whatever that was.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're down there watching Joe Burrow, and I don't know about you, but man, his calf looks fine to me. I know he in the press conference he kind of said he has good days, bad days. I mean, we haven't seen him a lot, but I haven't seen any bad days with him. I mean, what's your thoughts on Joe in week one?
Yeah, since I've seen him come back, I've never noticed anything different. I would have not known that he suffered a calf injury. Saw him before practice today when he was stretching and kind of warming up. He used one of those bands
Right.
between both knees and was stretching that a little bit, and then took it off and was clearly stretching his right leg more than his left leg up in the air just to get it stretched out. But the fact he was a full participant, I think, is certainly positive today. And this is the first day that teams had to release injury reports and participation reports. You're not allowed to lie on those. I don't think they did. He said he was a full participant. They expected him to be a full participant. And so I think all systems are go. I mean, I think they're trying to couch it where you're just making sure there's no goofy setback tomorrow or even Friday. And Friday's really just a walkthrough. So really more tomorrow. They're going to put the pads on tomorrow. They're not going to hit. He's not going to get hit, but he's still going to have to feel some simulated rush. Feel what it likes to feel what it's like to get away from some of that. Probably put some pressure on that in weird ways, accelerate in weird ways just to test it. So I think tomorrow would be really the litmus test. I can't imagine there's a setback in a walkthrough or a setback on Saturday when there's another walkthrough. So if he gets through tomorrow, I think all systems are go. It is an interesting injury. I mean, we've all had cramps in our calves, right? And we've either walked through those, fought through those, played softball or basketball or whatever. We played through those, and probably gotten lucky not to strain them at some point. So that's probably where that's at. It was not a cramp. It was clearly a strain, and I hope it's doable for him.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, Skinny, I think this has been one of the most overblown injuries. I mean, look, he hurt it on July 27th. It's September 6th. I mean, I've said it before on the show. Sam Hubbard had the same thing, was back in 2 weeks. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I think he had the same thing, and he's been playing. So, I mean, and I think the Bengals are being overcautious, which is fine because, to be honest, I think that was an excuse, honestly, for Zach to not even let him play because I don't think Zach wanted him to play in the preseason. Anyway, I think he wanted the practice, but I don't think he wanted him to play in the game. So it's kind of an excuse, I don't know. And look, Joe Burrow hasn't had a preseason, a normal one his entire career, and we went to the Super Bowl and back-to-back AFC championships. So I don't know. There hasn't been a whole lot to talk about because this team is stacked, let's be honest. So, I mean, I just think it's been a little overblown. I think he's be good to go week one. But let's talk about this team. And just, like I said, it's stacked. Where are the holes in this team? I mean, I can't think of one. Maybe backup tight end, I don't know, somewhere around there. I mean, what do you think? And he's freezing.
Yeah, Mo asked me that same question. I said, I don't find one. I mean, I guess you could argue. You got me?
Yep, I got you. Good. You're back. Can you hear me? Hello, Richard. Richard. I can hear you if you can hear me. Skinny, can you hear me?
You there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me? You see me? I'm here. Freaking internet. Hello, Richard. Richard going once. Richard going twice. Are you there, Richard? He is completely frozen up. See, this is what I hate about the internet sometimes. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Maybe if you can hear me, Richard, try to come back in because you are froze. I don't know. Yeah, I can't even see you now. So, all right. Well, there we go. Let's try that one. Richard, are you there? There you go.
I'm here. We'll
Okay.
try different. I always like different devices.
That works.
Well, here's the thing. I've got Spectrum Cable and Spectrum Internet, and obviously Spectrum Cable doesn't let me watch ESPN any longer at the moment. So maybe there's internet issues with it too.
It might be. All right, so we're getting back to the holes in this team and where you think they are. I think they're one of the most stacked teams in the NFL.
Yeah, Mo asked me that same question, and you alluded to me being on Mo's show. And I said, I just don't see any. I mean, you could argue the whole safety situation with Nick Scott and Dax Hill just because they haven't played together. And that's fair. They haven't played together, and we haven't seen them together other than a series in Atlanta. And no offense to anybody, that series didn't go very well. That doesn't mean that they're not going to play well, but that series didn't go well. So, I mean, I guess I think the interesting part is one of the holes, the hole 2 years ago was total offensive line play. Last year it was backup offensive line play when they suffered all the injuries, and Max Sharping did okay in the Buffalo game, and then he was overmatched by Chris Jones in Kansas City. This year you still have a trump card if you want to play it in La'el Collins if something comes to push comes to shove. Maybe it won't. Maybe they'll get to week 10 and go, you know what? I think we're good. We're just going to play this out. Or you say, you know what? We're paying the guy a lot of money, but it's our insurance policy. We've already accounted for it in this year. We're going to leave it be our insurance policy just in case, because the last 2 years, it just didn't go well in the postseason. Again, nobody's fault. I didn't expect Max Sharping to block Chris Jones. If he's able to block Chris Jones, he'd be a starter in this league, for goodness sake.
Right.
So, but La'el's done it, and La'el can play guard. I mean, that's the other part. He hasn't really repped it, but he can play guard. So you have technically a guy who can play 4 positions on your offensive line, both tackles. I mean, you don't want him at left tackle probably. He's probably better suited as a right tackle. But both tackles in both guard spots. I think that's invaluable as a trump card to have. So I don't see holes. And I know everybody throw injuries out of the equation. I mean, if Joe Burrow gets hurt for an extended period of time, this team is going to have a hard time winning games. If Justin Herbert gets hurt for an extended period of time, the Chargers are going to have a hard time.
Right.
If Tua gets hurt, if Lamar gets hurt, and we've seen it the last couple of years, Baltimore has a hard time winning games. So that caveat gets thrown out the door. The bottom line is I don't find many holes on this team, if any.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've said pretty much almost all summer, but toward the end of the summer, that I think the Bengals are going to keep LC just because the last 2 years of the injuries we had on the offensive line. He is a very expensive insurance policy, but a great insurance policy to have. And, you can put him on the PUP list. He doesn't have to play for the first 4 to 8 weeks, something like that.
4 weeks for sure, and then it's kind of gauged from there. So yeah, you could leave him on. And listen, if it's 4 weeks before he even gets cleared, then you got a 21-day window to let him practice and then get him cleared. So you're talking probably unless something catastrophic happens in the first couple of weeks, and you got to get him ready off the PUP, all those things. You're looking at past the bye week. It's an early bye week this year, and earlier than what the Bengals have had. But it's at least after the bye week, and at that point, it's a half-season insurance policy. Again, you're paying him a good piece of change not to play. But then the question is, with a team that's ready-made to win a Super Bowl all around it, can you not afford to pay him at that point? And I think, like I said, they've already accounted for that money.
Right, exactly. I mean, I've seen him on the rehab field. That's right below the bridge. So I've gotten to see him a lot, and he looks in good shape. But he hasn't practiced at all. He has not practiced one single time. He's always been on the rehab field this year. Now we got a couple questions here. Some people are worried about the running game. I'm not so much. I think as long as Travion Williams stays healthy and Mixon stays healthy, I think that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, and I not crunch numbers on this, but I talked to my friend Paul Danner Jr. today because we were talking about what Joe Mixon might do this year and whatnot, and I knew it was better. I didn't crunch the numbers, so I got to give credit where credit's due. Remember last year they were trying to run the wide zone and it didn't work, and then they went to the RPOs. Once they kind of tore up the running game, and they literally tore up the running game and said, all right, let's do something different. From that point forward, Joe Mixon averaged 4.6 yards per carry.
Right.
And now you're adding Orlando Brown to that mix, and you're putting maybe Jonah in a spot where he's got a chance to be even better, because I think Jonah as a run blocker is fine. It's the question of Jonah as a left tackle pass blocker. So now you got Jonah there, and you got, again, another season in this offense for Kappa, Karras, and Volson. So I don't think it's going to be dynamic. I don't think they want it to be dynamic. They want number 9 to throw the ball 40 times a game. They want to run it 20 to 25 times a game in a perfect world. And so I do. If you can get that yards per carry as a group up in the 4.2 range, Mixon finished last year at 3.9, but it's skewed by this bad start, and then finished strong. I think the running game will be just fine. I don't think Joe Mixon's the dynamic guy he was a couple of years ago, but again, the numbers are pretty good. You give me 4.6 out of a back, which he did once they changed the running game. I'll take that all day long.
The thing is, I don't think he has to be. And to your point is, I don't think we're going to run the ball anymore. I just think it's going to be more efficient this year. And my thought is the interior line is exactly the same. So Mixon knows these guys. He knows where they're going to have the holes. And that's a thing, trying to figure out if you're running back, figure out the blocking scheme of the offensive lineman and them having the same 3. I think it's going to be a more efficient running game, but not, we're not going to run it anymore. Cause like you said, we're paying Joe Burrow to throw the ball. I mean, we got T Higgins, we got TB, we got Jamar Chase, and the God's gift to a preseason, Yoshivash, everybody's favorite wide receiver who, my God, he looked good. We got all those guys. They're going to throw the ball. So everybody keeps saying, you got to run the damn ball. We're not going to. This offense is not set up like that. Now, the one thing that does I'm curious about is the tight end with Irv Smith. I think he's the most athletic tight end that we've had since Joe Burrow's been here. Now, knock on wood, he's got to stay healthy. Do you see them using him a little differently than they've used Hayden Hurst and CJ Uzomah? Like, they go like split them out wide, but more of a deep pass, or are they? It's going to be the same kind of schematic thing that they've had been, where the tight end is more of a check down.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of seam routes from Hayden Hurst last year. We saw a lot of yards after catch, and he was really good at that. You could get him in space at 8 yards, and he could turn that into an 18-yard gain running through you, running over you, as we saw in the Buffalo playoff game, hurdling a player, for goodness sake.
Yep.
So he brought a little different dynamic. Now, Hayden was a good athlete. I was a little surprised he didn't use him in that role. You remember the Baltimore game a couple years ago. CJ was, they ran a couple of deep routes for him and connected on those. I think Irv has that potential, but the problem is, injury history is injury history. We all want it to be, hey, the guy's a talent, and this is going to be the year he doesn't get hurt. And that's where I go back to Lamar Jackson. I know people are bullish on Baltimore. I get it.
They've been the most injured team in football.
Yeah, he's been hurt each of the last 2 years, missed 5 games, and they were 3-7 over the last 2 years in the 10 games he missed. History's history. At some point, can you buck a trend? Maybe. And I hope Irv Smith bucks that trend. He was a first-round draft pick, a first-round talent. It didn't work out in Minnesota, not because he stunk, just because he was always hurt. And so hopefully this is the spot for him where he doesn't get hurt. If that's the case, I do think they utilize him a little bit differently. But let's face it, when you've got number 1 and number 5, and to a lesser degree now at the stage of his career, number 83, they're getting the bulk of the targets, period, end of story. You might have a matchup where you go, okay, and Joe sees it and say, hey, this Irv Smith seam route's going to work, and I'm going to go to him because he's going to go right down the seam, and everybody else is going somewhere else. That probably will hit more than what it would hit with Hayden Hurst. But for the most part, I think all you're looking is, can he replicate Hayden Hurst? And I think if he's healthy, he absolutely can, and probably provide you more yards per reception.
Now that brings me to the guy who I thought earned a spot as far as tight ends go, Tanner Hudson. I thought he was going to be on the club. Now he is. He's on the practice squad. But today I saw him make a great back of the end zone catch or in the corner catch for the bridge, and he looks awesome. To me, he's more of the guy that would fit the Bengals offense. Not only because he can catch, but he can also block. Because he blocked for the Giants and Saquon last year. Were you kind of surprised that he is on the practice squad, not actually on the regular roster?
Yeah, I projected him on the team. I'm one that, and again, I don't want to pick on players, but I didn't think Drew Sample had a very good camp. Now, that being said, the very last press conference before the preseason finale, a question was asked about the tight ends, and they asked specifically about Drew Sample, and Zach Taylor, was very complimentary about he does things you guys don't see. And it was pointed out to us about a running play where he buried a guy on a block. And I usually see those things, but I didn't recall the play they were talking about. And that's fine. I get it. They trust him. They like him. We don't have to. It's not up to us to trust him or like him. I didn't think he had a very good camp. He didn't catch it very well. He looked like a guy that was still coming off the injury, and he is. That's the other part. He's coming off of an injury.
So is Wilcox.
I know they like Tanner, they like Mitchell Wilcox a lot, so I figured he was going to make it. And to your point, I thought Tanner Hudson had done enough to earn a spot, and maybe it's the best of all worlds. You see what you got in Drew for a few games. If it doesn't work, because there's a trust factor. Tanner's not been in this offense very much. Drew has. Drew knows what he's supposed to do. They trust Drew to do what he's supposed to do, and for any coach, that's a huge thing. It's trust. But sometimes if trust turns into, oh man, this is not working out. Then maybe you can see where we're at.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I liked him a lot. I saw him make a great catch today on the bridge. So I mean, I could see him getting some playing time for sure this year. Now, we all were hoping that Joe Burrow would have his contract today. Joe came out and said he wants to finish his career here, which I like that he says that because when he first got drafted, everybody's like, "Oh, don't go there," yada yada yada. But I find it very interesting that he basically said that he's not worried about his contract. Contract's going to take care of himself. I think this is a very mature answer for him that he said, I'll just focus on the Browns. I mean, he's one of the most mature guys I've ever seen. I don't understand how you can not worry about the contract because you go out there and get hurt, your contract might get blown up. But Joe says he's not worried about it, which I believe him. Do we get a contract done before Sunday?
I've gone back and forth on this. It's a great question, and I really don't know how to answer it because I do think it gets done. I think there's a lot of trying to figure out where we're going with guaranteed money with this. I think that's a big thing. I do think it's a positive sign that Joe Burrow's agent, his other client, and Nick Bosa got his contract done today. And maybe that's a positive step in the right direction of, okay, got that done. Now let's get this next one done. But I think Joe today was interesting when he just simply said, I'm just going to play on Sunday. I'm not worrying about this stuff. I do understand, though, and that follow-up question was asked of, do you worry about injury? And he kind of said, yeah, but you got to keep playing through it. I do think it's a concern. So, part of me says that on both sides, get it done by Sunday. And there's a part of me that does think it will.
Let's hope so. All right, Skinny. Well, your internet is not wanting to work out too good right now because you're kind of breaking up. But we got to get Tony Pike on. So next time you're on Tony's show, you got to give me a shout out or make fun, because I even told him that you were coming on today, and I could give him a link, and I got nothing. I got crickets, man.
Yeah, I just tell you, he is the king of tap dance, and you watch him, man. He can do a two-step with the best of them. That's all I know. I've called him out. I've tried to talk him into it. He points the finger at me. I'm pointing the finger at him. He's a big boy. He can say yes.
Tap, 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 tap. That's Tony. All right, Richard. Hey, tell everybody where they can follow you real quick, and what else you want to plug before I let you go.
Yeah, just go to local12.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at local12skinny. And certainly listen to our podcast there as well with me and Rick Boyne, the Skinny Podcast.
And you can always do Ask Skinny anything. So I'm gonna get you some of the beer. You're gonna get some of the beer. You got to try it out. All right. All right.
I don't like beer, man, but okay.
Yeah, I know that's a lie. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
All right, Skinny. Thanks, buddy. See you, man. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that much. I hope you can hear. I know his internet got kind of crackly toward the end. I can't do anything about that. I don't have any control over how it sounds on his end and stuff. It's all his internet. So I had to end it a little earlier because, like I said, the internet just didn't want to work today. But that's okay. It happens. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. All right. So people asked in the chat about the Jackpot Joey watch party this Sunday. No, there is no cover. So you just have to show up. I mean, you buy your own food, buy your own drink, stuff like that. But there is no cover to get in. So like I said, I'm going to be there about noon. You can get there early if you want. The game starts at, like I said, 1 o'clock. Beer be flowing. We got Jackpot Joey beer, the delicious wings. It's going to be an absolute blast. So make sure you show up. It's going to be a ton of people there. I can already tell you, because there's so many people that have said or reached out and said they're coming. I am actually getting the hell out of here. I'm going to go to Patrick's Sports Bar, go talk to Dave Lapham and my man Dan Horde and Zeus Brown. So before I do, let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. They are Who Dey Nation, Who Dey Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Radical Reds, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and then of course you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok. And Threads. I'll be pulling this out later on tonight. Put on the podcast. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, you guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,339 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Got a great show coming up tomorrow. I can't think of who it is. Let me see. Who do I have on tomorrow here? Let me look really quick so I can let you know. I got Coach Cam on tomorrow. So, Cam, you're watching. You're on the show tomorrow. So make sure you guys check that out. I can't wait for Sunday. Joe Burrow's going to be on the field. We're going to get that dub. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. That's just sports, baby. See ya!